There we go.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. I'll go ahead and call this session of the City of Sedro-Woolley Hearing Examiner to order. For the record, today is April 21st, 2026 at 10 a.m. So we have one item on the agenda today. That's number LP 2026-048. And this involves a request for approval of a preliminary plat to allow for the subdivision of a 2.71 acre parcel located on Fruitdale Road into 10 single-family residential lots with associated improvements that would include a new internal public roadway, landscaping, stormwater management features, and utility infrastructure. My name is Peregrine Sorter. I'm a hearing examiner with Laminar Law, whom the city has selected to hold certain land use hearings like this one. And it's going to be my role today to collect evidence in the form of exhibits and testimony to determine whether this proposal complies with the city comprehensive plan, zoning ordinances, critical areas ordinances, and the specific requirements for approval of a preliminary plat under the State Subdivision Act and the Municipal Code. To that end, I received and reviewed several exhibits in advance of this hearing. Those include the staff report prepared by city staff, the application and project plans, a wetland site assessment and buffer averaging plan, materials related to the environmental review of the proposal, and various notice materials. So I will go ahead and admit those exhibits into the record. If anyone has any additional exhibits that they would like admitted, just let me know when it's your opportunity to testify, and then I'll go ahead and address admitting additional exhibits at that time. Speaking of testimony, all testimony today will be under oath or affirmation. Because were my decision to be appealed, the recording of today's hearing, along with the admitted exhibits and my written decision, would serve as the foundation for any such appeal. I may ask questions of those that are testifying here today. I just want to ensure that I have a clear understanding of this proposal so that after the record closes, I'm able to produce a decision that is hopefully clear and legally defensible. And I believe that the order we're going to be following today is first we'll hear from city staff, who will provide an overview of this proposal along with any recommendations that the city may have. After that, we'll hear from the applicant, see if there's any additional information they feel that I or members of the public should be aware of in advance of issuing my decision. After that, if there's any members of the public here today, they'll have an opportunity to testify. And then following any public testimony, I'll turn back to the applicant and city for any response. So with that, I think we can get started. Who do we have on behalf of the city today?
That would be me, Nicole McGowan.
Great. Let me go ahead and get you sworn in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in the testimony you give here today?
I do.
Great. Did my summary of the exhibits track with what you're hoping I'd review in advance of this hearing?
I did want to ask the question that email that I sent you back on April 13th from Bill Truman, the engineering supervisor with PUD. He did have a concern with the language in the proposed or recommended condition number 20 related to PUD work within the wetland area, tract Y. So maybe let's add that one as an exhibit.
Yeah, I did receive that, so we'll go ahead and add that as exhibit, I think, L, I think we're at. So,
Yeah.
okay. So I've admitted that, so you can begin your presentation whenever you're ready.
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, so just jump right in. Staff are recommending preliminary plat approval for the plat of Fruitdale Flat. That is a 10-lot, 10-unit residential subdivision located on a 2.71 acre site identified as assessor's parcel number 137463. There's currently no address assigned to this tract of land. That subject property was formerly addressed as 965 North Fruitdale Road and recently underwent a short subdivision through short plat number 2025 through 26, which created one residential lot to separate the existing single-family residence there from the remainder of the property. And then the residual parcel was designated as Tract A for future subdivision through a long plat process. So this application pertains to that remaining tract. The applicant is proposing to subdivide Tract A into 10 single-family residential lots, each meeting the minimum lot size requirement of 6,000 square feet. The existing pole barn that's on site is proposed to be removed prior to final plat approval. Access to the subdivision will be provided via a new public roadway connecting to North Fruitdale Road to the west. And that road will serve lots 1 through 7 directly and will include a sidewalk on the south side and 15 on-street parking spaces along the north side. There's a separate tract identified as Tract Z at the eastern terminus of the road to provide a fire apparatus turnaround, shared access, and utility connections for lots 8, 9, and 10, as well as the adjacent lot where that existing single-family house is located. And then parking is going to be prohibited within that tract. With respect to environmental features, there are 3 Category 4 wetlands located within 200 feet of the project area. 2 of those wetlands are located off-site to the east and will not be impacted by this proposal. There is 1 wetland located on-site in the southeast corner. The project has been designed to minimize impact to that wetland to the extent feasible, and they have that wetland and its associated buffer designated in Tract Y for its protection. There is slight encroachment into the wetland buffer due to site constraint and the need to accommodate the full width of right-of-way improvements and minimum lot area and minimum dimensions, but the minor encroachment will be mitigated with buffer averaging consistent with the city's critical area regulation. We did conduct SEPA environmental review for the project and did not receive any public comments during the SEPA comment period. In terms of open space and recreation, our code does require subdivisions of more than 7 units to provide a minimum of 8,000 square feet of usable recreation area. However, for developments of 15 units or fewer, applicants can elect to provide a fee in lieu of constructing on-site recreation space. And in this case, the applicant has chosen to make that in lieu payment of $15,000 to the City Park Reserve Fund. And that money would be used for capital improvements within the park system. As far as landscaping requirements, for subdivisions, that typically includes both lot landscaping and open space landscaping. Because the applicant has elected to pay that in lieu fee for the recreation, the landscaping requirement is reduced to 10% of the combined net lot area. They did submit a preliminary landscape plan that demonstrates that this requirement can be met. Street trees are also required, and the applicant proposes to locate those on individual lots just outside of the right-of-way along the south side of the street. This is a little outside of what we typically allow, but staff are amenable to this approach due to the site constraints I previously mentioned. And this approach is supported by public works staff as well, that improves compatibility with large vehicle movement, reduces the risk of sidewalk damage from roots, and maintenance responsibility isn't affected in Sedro-Woolley, regardless of whether street trees are located within the public right-of-way or on private property. The maintenance is the responsibility of the property owners. Stormwater will be managed in accordance with the 2024 Department of Ecology Stormwater Manual for Western Washington. Preliminary civil plans indicate that there is a stormwater detention facility located within Tract W along the western portion of the site. The final design and compliance will be verified during the civil construction plan review phase, and that goes for public water and sewer systems as well. Overall, the proposal is consistent with applicable zoning and subdivision standards. The majority of staff's recommended conditions are focused on ensuring that detailed civil engineering plans, utility designs, and final plat documents meet the city's requirements prior to final plat approval. With all that being said, staff recommend preliminary plat approval for the plat of Fruitdale Flat.
Great, thank you for your staff report and presentation here. I think you covered a lot of the questions I had for you. Maybe we've done this enough times, you anticipate what I'm going to ask. Let's see. Oh, first, can you just confirm that there's been no appeal filed of the MDNS?
That is correct.
Okay. And then let's see. Okay. Oh, the new internal roadway. Is there a potential for any future connections? Uh, I guess to there's going to be access to that one residential property, but you have the Hammerhead turnaround. Is this anticipated to just serve this development and that neighboring parcel, or is there, I guess, a possibility of future connections? Or
There is a possibility of future connections to the property to the north. Let me pull it up on the maps here. I believe it was looking like you could do a loop connection. Um, I did mention there are 15 on-street parking stalls serving the subdivision. Those are not required on-street parking stalls, so in the event that the road needs to go through, we wouldn't run into an issue with
okay,
lack of required parking.
great. Um, and then it appears that there's very little frontage on Fruitdale. So as far, I think you covered the frontage improvements that would be required there. But there's a connection to the sidewalk on the south. Would there be any potential future sidewalk on to the north on Fruitdale Road? I don't know. What are the existing conditions of Fruitdale Road, if you can,
Mhm.
is that up to standard right now?
I may defer to Peter on this. I do
Okay.
believe that there is sidewalk along North Fruitdale Road. I don't know about it being up to standard.
Okay.
But
I guess I'm mainly asking, do you know if students that could potentially reside in the subdivision, if they'd be within walking distance to schools, or would they be bused?
McGarrigle Road is probably the best as far as a walking route. Maybe close, or maybe down Highway 20. There's a shared use path there. Definitely, it's a walkable area. There are
Okay,
crosswalks and yeah, sidewalks all along. Mm-hmm.
great. And then uh, your staff report detailed the buffer averaging requirement, so I don't think I need to go into detail on that. And you mentioned stormwater would be reviewed with the civil construction permits. But city staff has determined that it would at least be feasible at this stage to manage stormwater in compliance with the latest DOE manual. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. Let me go ahead and get you sworn in just so we can. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in the testimony you give here today?
I do.
And if you could just state your name for the recording and explain your role with the city.
I'm Peter Lane. I'm the city engineer.
And then let's see. And then I assume city staff determined that this proposal wouldn't be anticipated to generate new daily trips at a level requiring a TIA. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the development would be adequately served by water and sanitary sewer.
That is correct.
Well, I don't think I have any additional questions for the city at this time. Was there any other um, comments you wanted to provide here, Mr. Lane, on this proposal?
There is not.
Okay. Were there any other members of city staff that wanted to testify?
No.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do we have a representative for the applicant here today?
Yes, I will be representing BYK Construction.
Great. Good morning. Let me go ahead and get you sworn in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in the testimony you give here today?
I swear.
Great. So now is your opportunity. If there's any other additional information you'd like me to know.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Madison Bowman, and I'm with BYK Construction, the applicant for this project. I just want to thank Nicole for providing the detailed project overview. We appreciate the city and staff's review. To add to that, we believe this project offers thoughtful infill housing that fits the surrounding community and meets the city code and planning goals. And I'm happy to answer any questions from the hearing examiner or the public at this time.
Great. Perhaps you can just, I believe that the applicant had an issue with the recommended condition 20. Did you want to speak to that? I believe that was in reference to the easement.
Maybe to clarify, Peregrine, the email that we got was from the engineering supervisor with Gadget PUD, not the applicant.
Oh, it was the PUD had the issue. Well, Nicole, what's the city's response to I guess PUD's suggestion there?
So I would be okay either way if the language in the PUD easement were either updated as we've recommended, or hearing from the engineering supervisor that they do have protections for if they are doing work within wetlands. I just noticed like the standard language that they use for the PUD easement, was describing things that, vegetation removal and digging things up, all of those sorts of things within a wetland tract, recognizing that easement does extend into tract Y, which is designated for protection of the wetland. I thought maybe it would be a good idea to get some language in there, just ensuring that those, if they did have to do any work within the wetland, that it gets restored back to previous conditions before the work started.
What about, I'm thinking about maybe just more general language that any work within the tract would have to comply with applicable critical areas regulations.
Yeah, maybe just a note on the plat, something along.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll give that a little bit of thought, and I do have the email. So, but I want to turn back to the applicant team. Did you have a chance to review the conditions that were recommended by city staff? And do you have any issue with the language of those conditions?
So we did have a chance to review and we don't have any issues, but we are wondering if we could get a copy of the email from PUD with their language concerns.
I can send that to you, Madison.
Okay.
Great. And then if the applicant wanted to provide a response, perhaps if you can get that to me maybe by the end of today or tomorrow is fine, and then I'll see the applicant's position on that. That would be great.
Ask them.
Okay.
If they're trying to move the easement. Is the PUD asking to move the easement?
I don't believe so. There's just some language in the condition. I think they want to amend a note on the plat just to clarify that any work within that tract would essentially have to comply with applicable critical areas regulations. That's my understanding.
Okay, we don't have an issue with that. I mean, that's just what the law is, right? So when we were at the pre-app meeting, the PUD said that they were fine with us going through the critical area as far as location of the easement. So
okay,
early indications were that they would just bore underneath it, so there'd be no impact. But
okay, great. Let's see. I don't think I have any additional questions for the applicant team. Are there any members of the public that are logged on here, Nicole, or are these all?
We do have one member of the public.
Oh, okay. Great. Did you want to provide comment on this proposal?
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Well, let me go ahead and get you sworn in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in any testimony you give here today?
I do.
And then what we'll do is if you have any questions, I don't really allow for back and forth, but you can state all your questions and we'll see if we can get some answers for you from the city or the applicant.
Okay, great.
Will that work? And if you could just spell your name for the audio recording, that'd be great.
COCKE.
Great. Go ahead and you can ask any questions you like, and we'll see if we can get some answers for you.
Yeah, so I live like 2 blocks away. I'm also a member of city council, and this is in my ward, so that's why I'm interested what's going on. A few comments that I've received from people in the neighborhood is one, how big will these houses be? Like how many square feet? Do you have an approximate size?
I get
Would you
since
want
we
us to
just
wait to answer? Yeah, okay.
normally that's what I do, but we don't have a room full of people here, so I'll give some leeway and we'll do some back and forth questioning if that works better for you.
Okay, so our proposed home size is about 1,800 square feet to 2,100 square feet. We don't have home plans have not been selected yet. Normally we get through this process first and then we kind of see what the market desires and what's going to best fit on the lots.
Okay. Um, how close is this development to the natural gas pipeline? Does it miss it by a good chunk of distance?
I'm not sure, Nicole, are you able to share your screen and show the,
We can just answer the question. It's a couple 100 feet away. The natural gas pipeline is east of the existing house.
Okay. And those are my 2 questions. I just had a comment that I've heard from residents uh, in my ward about this. And this probably maybe doesn't have anything to do with anything that the applicants can respond to because they don't control it. But with that wedding or event place that opened up a little bit, I guess that would be south of this project. And then the addition of Olmsted Park, there's been, while traffic counts might not be known now, they will go up significantly with the new park, is my guess. Also, I get almost, I wouldn't say daily, definitely weekly complaints about speeding on Fruitdale. I think it starts 25, 35. I've had reports as high as 70. I also get quite a few reports of speeding on McGargyle. So I don't know, if you add more um, traffic on this, if that'll affect it at all. Could just be some bad actors. And in terms of the children walking, they definitely walk. They tend not to go down to 20. There is a pathway there, but that's a long way. They go up to McGargyle, across the street there. And my wife and I at that crosswalk have almost been hit 3 times just crossing that crosswalk, which has a blinking light. So I'm just raising issues that people in the neighborhood have raised. So that was it for me. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you for being here, council member. Did the city want to provide any response to the last comments there?
Just to comment that I've taken some notes and thank you for that information. For the road capacity, it is classified as a collector, so it is not a local street. So we do anticipate having some more traffic on that road, but it is designed to handle it without having a capacity issue. On the speeding issue, yes, understand and taking some notes on that.
One other question, maybe this is for the city. In terms of the gas pipeline, are any kind of safety issues built into having more houses close to that? I don't know how you do that, but people should be aware that they're buying a house near a gas pipeline, I think.
So I was able to pull up the plat map from the short plat 2025 through 25 that separated off the existing house from the remainder tract A that we're looking at today. I just wanted to confirm it is about 125 feet away at the shortest distance, the Cascade natural gas line. As far as safety restrictions, that sort of thing, but the easement itself has covenant conditions and restrictions as far as proximity to the line and what you can and can't do within that area. That's kind of not our jurisdiction as far as controls with that, the Cascade natural gas. So
I would add that as a seller of the house, we have to fill out what's called a Form 17, which is a disclosure, which has a ton of different questions on things that are in the proximity of the homes.
Okay. I just think people have the right to know that they're buying a house near a natural gas pipeline. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you for your comments. Were there any last thoughts on behalf of the city before I adjourn this hearing here today?
not at this time.
Great. Well, thank you all again for being here. It is my intention to issue a written decision on this application within 10 business days of the record closing here today. And then again, if you have any comments on that comment from PUD, just go ahead and provide those to Nicole and she'll get those to me. So thank you again. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.